right. Welcome back, everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Another episode of Young Entrepreneurs Podcast. This is episode number 5. Man, we're on a roll. We got the train
Moving
going.
along, man.
It's not stopping either, man.
Like May said, you can't stop it.
Nope. I have a very, very, very special guest with me here today for episode 5. He's a good friend of mine. We just met recently, but we just kicked it off. We click. You're my people, man. I can say that with confidence.
For sure.
I'm glad to have you in my network. Thank you for being a part of Entrepreneurs Connect and being a part of that group and contributing what you have as far as meeting people and, spreading this message of entrepreneurship that we're trying to spread. But just want to introduce you to start things off. We have Jason Baltimore. Jason Baltimore, the man. That's me. The myth, the legend. This guy is a social media expert and owner of ResultKingsDigital.com. Result Kings is a social media business management business, if you will, right?
Sure.
You guys you focus mainly on like customer research as a process to how you deal with clients, starting off with customer research. Customer targeting, the sales funnel, which I think every business kind of has an idea that's a necessity.
Yeah. They're using it even when they don't know they are.
Yeah, exactly. It's a subconscious kind of thing. Retargeting and follow-up, automated messaging marketing, which I'm really excited to talk about that. That's very new and up and coming.
For sure.
And then, of course, the last thing was explainer videos. That's something else I noticed that you offer as a service, which I think is awesome as well. Just visuals, anything visual that can get people's attention.
That's the way you learn, apparently.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people. I mean, people are different, but so that's Jason Baltimore. I'm really happy to have you on here, man. It's
just me.
I'm excited to have you on here. I'm excited to talk about some social media. This episode in particular is going to be a little bit focused on that just because that's your background, that's your expertise, and I want to give entrepreneurs a little bit of insight on how social media can be extremely beneficial to their business. It could even start as soon as the beginning stages before you even come up with a business idea or plan, I think.
Yeah, of course. No, I appreciate you having me on for sure. Social media is something that we can't hide from anymore. It's obviously prevalent in our everyday lives. You see people all over the place with their heads buried in their phone, and why not start using it to our benefit? It's so powerful, right? So thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Nice meeting you at the very first event.
Yeah, of course.
A while back, and like you said, we just kind of clicked, had a couple meetings since then, and just excited to get this going. So
awesome.
Let's knock it out.
Sweet. Yeah, a little bit more into your background just to give people some reference as far as what you specialize in and kind of where you came from, essentially. You obviously have a background in golf, given your degree. You went to school for management specific to the golf industry, business management specific to that industry. Which I thought that was really interesting. I mean, most entrepreneurs, I feel like they love something and they're passionate about it, but they don't realize it until later, and then they start a business around it. That's how you kind of got going. You love golf, right? It's been in your family for years. Can you go into a little bit about that as far as your background in
absolutely.
golf?
So it's funny. I mean, I'm a late bloomer, if you will. I was struggling back and forth going to college, started with computer science, was like, man, I like talking to people too much to be sitting in front of a computer, which is odd considering that now I sit in front of a computer. But I talk to people every day, all day. Just figured out that wasn't for me, decided to get in the restaurant industry. It was actually my first job ever was in the restaurant industry, went back to it. Started working when I was a senior in high school. My dad got a golf course and was like, move up here, help me out. So I went up there, worked, and then everybody always says, do what you love, right? Find your passion, do it. I ended up coming back down to Chicago, working as a bartender, because I was like, again, I like going to bars. I like meeting people. Let's make money and do the two things at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did that, and then I was like, man, I really don't want to be the 50-year-old bartender. Not that there's anything wrong with that, right? But wasn't for me.
Yeah, of course.
So I decided to go to school down in Arizona, become a golf pro, and start making money in something that I was passionate about. And like you said, entrepreneurs are doing things that they're really passionate about. And I didn't even notice that it was something that I was doing, but throughout my whole life, I've always kind of made it a point to do something that I was interested in and make sure that it was making me money.
Absolutely. Yeah. And how did that impact your drive towards being a business professional in the golf industry? That passion for golf in itself, I'm sure, had a huge impact on how dedicated you were and committed to that.
It definitely did, for sure. Up until I went to school and was hoping, hey, man, I'm going to golf school. Maybe I'll be able to learn and play a little bit better, and I did.
Yeah.
But then I played with some guys that were like,
next level,
sub PGA, and it was like, okay, this ain't for me. I can teach, do as I say, not as I do, type thing. But
yeah, absolutely.
No, I mean, it definitely drove me every day from everything. I've always been able to set my mind on doing something, whether it was becoming a bartender, which might sound trivial, but at a nice place, it's not. And then going to golf school and getting my degree and becoming a teaching professional, and then deciding to leave that and then start my own business and starting to see the success that I'm seeing with that. Like, it's just everyday affirmations, knowing that I'm really driving towards something special and that something that I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like throughout the start of it all, it was all driven through passion. Like you said,
unintentional,
golf.
But yeah,
which is awesome. I mean, consider yourself blessed in that sense that you can say, like, I didn't have to go through all these loops and bounds to figure out what it is I'm passionate about or what I love. Like, that was part of my struggle. I would fall in love with things every day. I was very, like, curious and just wanting to try every single thing. Like, I'd watch an episode of Cops and I want to be a cop.
Right.
That's the kind of personality I was. So that's very hard for an entrepreneur, I feel like, because I'm discovering new things every day, and I'm not sure what I'm good at or what I'm going to really latch onto. So I think that knowing that right off the bat is awesome.
Well, it's tough. I mean, even like the story I just told, I had 3-4 different things that I was jumping back and forth on that I never thought it would be social media that I landed on. And that's not my passion. My passion isn't social media. What I enjoy doing is helping people.
Absolutely.
Just so happens that platform is what's allowing me to do that right now.
Absolutely.
And it'll change.
Yep.
It'll change down the road, and I'll adapt with it the same way that I have so far. So just looking forward to everyday challenges.
So how have you adapted with that transition from the golf world into what you're doing now?
It was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was hard gaining the confidence. Definitely had some trials and tribulations in the beginning.
Of course.
As we always do. Same thing with, even when I was instructing golfers, one day I'd give you a lesson, it would work, and then I'd give him a lesson and he'd suck worse than he did when he got there. And I'd be like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? But I think it's the enjoyment of learning. I think especially in this social media world, everything is always changing and we have to adapt to it. So learning how to do so and being open to change really is something that you have to be ready for.
Absolutely. Was there a point when you were in that career of the golf career, that industry, where you saw that chance to adapt, and that's when you kind of took a different direction towards your career, towards your business and your goals and things like that?
I mean, I can tell you an exact story if you want.
Yeah, let me hear it, man.
I was working as a first assistant at a pretty private club out in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Okay.
Making $9.50 an hour.
Wow.
And I got my golf degree in a teaching certificate. So I'm certified golf teacher, instructor, but I didn't get my PGA certification. Oh, wow. Which would have cost me about another $30,000 to $40,000.
Wow, holy cow.
So because I decided not to do that, the private club that I was at would not allow me to teach. So I couldn't, there's another stream of income taken away from me. Yeah. So I was working at a steakhouse, waiting tables, which was fine. I loved it.
Yeah.
Full time. At the same time, I was working at that golf course because I needed to maintain bills and life and everything.
Yeah. That's crazy too, because you went to school for this, you got your degree, and here you are, not even close to where you want to be, essentially,
Well, something happened in the golf world too, where, just like everything else, real estate, right, goes up and down. Same thing with golf. The Tiger boom was fantastic. Everybody was making a bunch of money. Golf courses were being built literally every day.
Yeah.
Yep. And then all of a sudden they started closing, and people's jobs that were making $130,000 were now inundated with 50, 60 applicants willing to take 70.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, why would I? So hence the money left. And I'm not in it necessarily for the money, but I'm not stupid either.
Yeah.
I got to make a living.
Absolutely. And I feel like, golf in general is kind of a dying sport. And I hate to say that because I love golf. I love to play the sport. I'm terrible, but I love to play golf. I love getting out there. I think it's a chance to be present for once, just on the course. Nothing else matters. Tomorrow doesn't matter. Yesterday doesn't matter. You're on the course having a good time with your buds.
Put your phone away.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy a beer. Drive the little fun golf cart, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, though, especially like someone like us, entrepreneurs, busy, running around all the time, 4 hours on the golf course is a chore sometimes. I feel like that's hard to get, especially if you have kids, you throw kids into the mix, or a family of some sort. Like, I'm sure it's even hard for you to get out there sometimes, even though you love the sport, but I think that's the hardest part for golf, and I think that's why it's taken a shift downward, is because of that long-term type of setting that it's placed in.
I think we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I again, it has its ebbs and flows just like everything else. And, as you saw, Tiger Woods just won the Masters, and golf courses were full the next day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But then you have, in this lifestyle that we're living, like you said, everything's becoming more fast paced. Kids our age that grew up playing golf, now we don't have time because we have careers and families.
Or we just go to Topgolf. Play
now
for
you got
an hour.
Now you got a business like Topgolf, right?
Yep.
That completely adapted from two brothers out over in the UK. That saw an opportunity, and now we're blowing up to 40, 50 locations. They're on freaking Las Vegas, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's nuts.
You know what I mean? They got slot machines and pools. So, I mean, the game itself is not necessarily dying.
Yeah.
I think that the inadequate ways of the old school, as we kind of talked earlier, the good old boys club, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's dying.
It's becoming more public.
We're seeing golfers now. So here's a funny story. When I went to golf school, right, couldn't have a beard. Sorry.
Really?
Couldn't have a beard.
Wow.
You walked into class with something on your face, they handed you a razor, told you to go home.
No way.
Straight up. And you had to wear slacks every day.
Huh.
Tattoos had to be covered.
That's not a thing anymore.
So we're seeing a shift, right? And it'll change, but
Absolutely.
it is what it is at the moment. But I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's just my perception on it. Like, I look at it even for myself. Like, I sometimes I just don't have time. I haven't played golf in like a year because 18 holes is a long time.
I played this morning. It was
Did
44
you?
degrees outside.
Oh, wow.
It
nice.
sucked. I mean, I played pretty good.
But you love it, though. It's different. That's jiu-jitsu. I love jiu-jitsu, so I'll make time.
You'll make time, just like for your jiu-jitsu, right?
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Anything that you love, you're passionate about, you'll make time for it at the end of the day. But I just feel like golf is just one of those platforms, though, that's just super long.
It is a long time. But remember, 80 to 85% of major business is conducted on a golf course.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
would you say that knowing how to play golf and getting out there is a good business skill? I
would say at least to be good enough to hit the ball.
Yeah, yeah.
And know the general rules.
Yeah.
If you go out there like an asshole, I don't know if I can swear.
You can say
you
whatever
go out
you
there
want,
like
man.
that, then you're probably, people are gonna, now you have a less chance of doing business. But if you're, you got your etiquette down, and
at least,
you can throw together, at the very least,
that's why they maybe want to contact a professional like yourself to at least learn the basics, and like, back when you were teaching.
Sure.
At least know.
You're adding levels to my business. I didn't even think about it. Anybody wants to know, I can teach you the etiquette of golf.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you work B2B anyways, so you can teach people how to hijack their social media, and then also teach them how to play well on the course so they can just finish business deals.
Don't be a dick. That's pretty much the rule.
That's it, huh? That's pretty straightforward.
Let the other guy go first, and don't be a jerk.
Don't swear too much. I call golf whack fuck.
Yeah, man,
that's my name for it, because you just hit the ball, whack, and most of the time you're screaming fuck afterwards. So I just started calling it that from now on.
It's very common.
Yeah,
it's understandable.
I'm one of those guys who it's one good shot that gets me to come back. It's like a drug.
That's everybody.
Yeah, I guess, isn't it? Yeah. But I'm terrible the rest of the time, like 90% of the time.
At least you get that one. See, like if I went to a jiu-jitsu ring, I'd
it's true.
Fold like an accordion and be
you
like, I'm never
get a
fucking coming
try.
back here. Yeah, I'm never coming back here.
Oh, that hurt.
I hate all of you.
It's not bad. It's not that bad.
Well, no, because you guys actually are nice about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're not punching you. We're just choking you. Grabbing your wrists and twisting until you say, stop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Or it breaks.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, we're getting off topic. Jeez,
I know.
These podcasts, man, sometimes they just take over. It's the headphones. You get inside these things and...
You're zoned in.
Yeah,
and we've had conversations before, so
exactly
that's what happens.
But back to entrepreneurship, back to business.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Golf. I mean, I think that knowing it obviously is helpful, but then also for you in particular, using that as like a platform to base your business background off of, is being in that industry. You're well versed and educated on the sport itself. And how would you say you're able to translate some of those skills that you learned in school and you learned on the course and, teaching other people how to play golf, did you apply to now what is Result Kings Digital?
Well, I think in golf, we just had the PGA Championships. Brooks Koepka won again, back-to-back championship. That guy only wins majors because for him, that's his focus. That's what he does, right? And he is a fucking killer.
Absolutely.
That's just, nobody can even touch him.
Hands down.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so when you're on a golf course, if you're in a competition, that's how you are. It's only you against the course, and it's only the other player against the course, but you can still get there, right? So it's still psychological.
It's a mindset.
And those people that go on that course, like, I don't want to mention names if it's going to offend anybody, but like our president, right?
Okay, yeah.
Owns a lot of golf courses, does a lot of business on golf courses.
Absolutely.
And that's his war room, right? The draft has a war room. That's his war room where he knows every little intricate thing he does. Maybe he lets you win a hole, or maybe, you know, he putts out of turn when he knows it's not.
Wow,
you know what I mean? There's just little intricacies all over a golf course that you can do, especially in match play, to manipulate the situation. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to say manipulate like it's a bad thing.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
you're just trying to skew things
day.
To your advantage.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so business is the same way. Mm-hmm. And so with social media and the platform that have learned and continue to learn, is us just manipulating something that's available to us to bring in business and grow our business. It's nothing more than that. It's not us inundating our clients or bombarding people with, you know, flyers in their face, or you're just providing value, providing information, and if they want to intake it, they have the availability to do so, and if not, they just swipe up.
Yeah,
you know, you just do this.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. I love that analogy. I mean, to put those two in perspective. It's a game.
I never thought of that until you brought it up. So
beautiful. I'm glad it was said here.
Yeah, me too.
But it is a game. I mean, I feel like that's exactly what it is. That's what sales is, and that's what essentially what you're doing. You're generating leads, and you're trying to help people sell their product, service, platform, their voice, right? But, you know, like you said, on the golf course, it's a lot of business deals are conducted there. Mm-hmm. And so that's the same thing that's happening. You're closing a deal. You're making a sale. Like you said, you can do these little intricate things on the course that will maybe make or break that sale. You know, like we talked about, being crappy on the golf course, you might not get the job if you're a little bit better, or at the very least you have the etiquette down and you can be respectful on the course. You're going to get, you know, you're that much closer to getting that deal or that sale, whatever it is. So I love that analogy. I think that'd bring a lot of value to a lot of people, because typically we have hobbies, you know, we play games, we do things every day that we enjoy in that sense, whether it's video games or jiu-jitsu or golf or whatever it is, you know. But I think it's really important to be able to apply those things that we do outside of our work lives, our businesses, to our actual daily life.
I feel like a lot of times we do it and we don't even know.
True. Yeah, absolutely.
Like that scenario I just said. Yeah. I never really thought about it until you pulled it out of me, and I just had to incorporate it, right?
Yep.
But it makes perfect sense.
That's why I love these platforms. I'm glad we're doing this with like Young Entrepreneurs Podcast. Not only are we going to be able to help people who are listening and be able to like reiterate these things that, like, you just had this come off the cuff.
Right.
You know, that's going to benefit you in your marketing now. You just almost cracked down on your why.
Yeah.
You know?
There's always a little bit more we can do. Turn the dial another notch.
So not only are people listening like saying probably the same thing, I can relook at this or relook at that, or, you know, reevaluate these things, but even the people who are on here, even myself as an entrepreneur, I'm able to gain from that, because it's showing me the exact same thing, that I can look at things differently and apply them, you know, without even realizing.
Yeah, you're not physically going to go to a meeting now and choke somebody out.
No.
Right?
Unless
but
it's
you're going to
learn.
You're going to learn the things that you learned in jiu-jitsu that got you into that position and be able to manipulate it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the best thing I could take away from jiu-jitsu for business, since we're on that topic of translating passions and sports to business and work, is uncomfortability. Is like when you're in that moment where the guy's looking at you and it's like awkward, you know, and you're like, you don't know what else to say, and you're like maybe sweating a tad bit, you know. And it's in those situations where I think jiu-jitsu, like, oh my god, it could be so much worse. Why? Because this guy could be choking me right now as he's staring at me weirdly. You know, I think that also people aren't used to getting that touch. Like about 4 times a week, I get so close to somebody that I can feel their heartbeat.
Right.
Not a lot of people get that unless you're in an intimate relationship with somebody else. Like,
or you have a kid.
You don't have to encounter that. We are not forced to encounter that kind of behavior, you know? So I feel like it's that discomfort. I'm like, okay, I can handle anything. I can handle a dude choking me. I can handle this guy giving me a weird look. You know? I can talk my way out of it. I could, you know, come up with something, you know, witty or clever to kind of break the ice, or whatever the case is.
Exactly.
But I apply that a lot too.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
My entrepreneurship. But back to Result Kings Digital. I'm going to talk a little bit more about.
Is that what we're talking about?
That's what we're talking
all
about.
Right.
Social media. I know, right? It's going all over the place. But your website, you have a website around social media, building up those social media platforms. Tell us how you start. I know that there's a beginning phase to this, and you have levels. So why don't you explain a little bit about how you get
how I started, or how I suggest people start, or
no, like your process, like on your website, for example. You start,
so here's the deal.
Starts with customer research.
So here's the deal. There's a lot of people out there that are going to say they're digital marketers.
Yes.
Okay, which is why I buckle sometimes, or used to anyway, before I came up with this process, or we came up with this process of what do you do, right? When somebody asks you what do you say?
Well, I usually start by saying I do a lot of things.
Very nice. And now I'm like, all right, here we go. We got 12 minutes of this ramble, right?
Yes, true.
Because we want your elevator pitch. What's your elevator pitch? You got 16 seconds to tell me what you do.
I am able to put your logo anywhere you need it.
Okay.
Anywhere, anytime, any place.
There you go.
Pretty simple.
If you can't say it simply, then you don't understand it well enough.
True.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I didn't understand my business well enough.
Okay.
I thought that I did, and I would say, I'm a digital marketer. As a matter of fact, story time, how did we meet? We were at the same networking event, and somebody goes, I said, oh yeah, I do digital marketing. And they said, oh, so you do the same thing as Matt.
Yeah.
And I said, well, shit, there's another digital marketer here?
And then you knew me, and you're like, wait, no.
And then I walked over, and I was like, started talking to you, and I'm like, wait a minute, we don't do anything the same. But we both yet said digital marketing.
Absolutely.
So what I do is I am a lead generation person for small businesses. I teach them, and I don't teach them. I have the ability to teach them.
Of course.
What I do for them, if they pay me, if they're my client, I bring in leads.
Yes.
Okay. Then I have a process that teaches them how to convert them into customers.
Absolutely.
A lot of people say that they are digital marketers, and where they throw out a Groupon or,
or just a Facebook ad.
I mean, when I say Groupon, I mean a Groupon type deal, right? Like, come get your $20 massage, right?
Yeah.
And then somebody comes in for $20 and you never fucking see them again.
Yep. Yeah, that's mostly what happens.
Several things happen. A, the client doesn't know how to close them. B, it's just a fucking Groupon hunter.
Yeah.
And C, they don't have anything in place to maintain that lead.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I've seen it and done it the wrong way, which is how I came up with this process. So now when people say, what is your elevator pitch? What do you do? It's easy. I have a 90-day leads to dollars campaign that I create for small businesses that help them bring in clients and then convert those clients into dollars and keep them as customers.
It's pretty straightforward right there. It's as good as it gets.
What else you want from me?
Yeah, I mean, that's it.
But
you know what, though? That's the best way to go about it, because people are looking for that in particular. And when they get that type of response and answer, it's a no-brainer. It's like, okay, yeah, I found what I was looking for.
At least you hope, right?
Yeah.
And then we talk about it and we learn more about each other's business and see if it's a fit. But
Absolutely. That's awesome. And how long has Result Kings Digital been a business?
Since we became Result Kings Digital. So we used to be a different company. We were called Kings Ransom Marketing.
Gotcha.
And we did that for about 2 years. And now we've been Result Kings for about 7 months.
Cool.
7 months, yeah.
So why don't you let everybody know where they can find you guys as far as social media goes for Result Kings?
Yeah, Facebook,
Digital.
Instagram, online, resultkingsdigital.com.
Beautiful. What's your tag
at
on,
Result Kings Digital
on Instagram?
Yep.
Beautiful.
I mean, it's all pretty straightforward.
But I want to talk about how social media, that's your expertise. That's what you're known for.
That's right.
That's what you do. Personally, for you, what platform do you use most, and what do you prefer?
Well, I mean, I use Facebook the most, for sure.
That's like the main platform you're on personally?
Yeah, there's really minimal limitations as far as, Instagram has limitations on the size of the video you can post, on how many words you can use, and Facebook has minimal limitations on that.
Yeah.
And plus I'm a little older, but we grew up with Facebook, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it took MySpace over, and no coding. It made it really easy for us.
User friendly, yeah.
Super user friendly, and you just see all the possibilities that are endless with it.
And we talked a little bit about Instagram and Snapchat. Are you on those platforms as well?
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
So
use
obviously Snapchat and Instagram like a lot? I
am so bad with Snapchat. Yeah. I need to get much better with Snapchat. I really do.
It's a whole other beast. I mean, it's going to take some YouTube University probably.
I'm pretty good at it, and I got a lot of younger brothers and sisters, and a couple of my sisters are actually Instagram influencers. So
oh, really?
They've mastered that game. They've done so many things in this place I don't even know how to begin. But I I feel like I'm definitely one of those people that, like, when I set something up, like, okay, I'm going to make a video today about, I made one the other day about putting a pixel on your Facebook or on your website.
Yeah,
so I was like, okay, I got to get the location, and I got to get, we were talking earlier, is my camera zoomed in enough?
Facebook is better for that.
Facebook's just much better for the
planned
out,
more
execute,
high quality.
Instagram's kind of off the cuff.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that's where everyone's taking their footage.
Plus, anything, they're linked. I mean, they're owned by Facebook.
Yeah.
So anything you put on Instagram automatically goes on your Facebook if you choose to do so. So
absolutely,
they integrate very, very well.
Yeah, I use both. I use Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. I haven't touched Twitter. I'm not a huge advocate for it. I just don't think it's necessary to just speak whatever I'm thinking at the time and just post that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's kind of what Snapchat is in the same token. But I feel
there's
like
still value. I feel because you can take a funny video and someone's gonna laugh about it.
I feel like Twitter was a lot more for journalists.
Yeah, definitely.
And for media,
definitely,
than it was for the masses.
True.
You know what I mean? It was for our intake, not for
I like how you're saying was
output.
Was for.
I agree. I feel like it's leaving. I feel like it's going somewhere. But and Facebook will do the same, and WhatsApp will do the same, and Instagram will do the same, and so that's why I really enjoy being in the social media base that I'm in, because I have the crazy process in my mind that I need to continually learn, and this just feeds that daily.
Absolutely.
Facebook is always changing their algorithms and learning and adapting, and I mean, come on, when Zuckerberg had to sit in front of the Congress and talk about all that shit, huge. Everybody was losing their mind, like, they're doing what? They're listening to my conversations. It's like, no, I mean, and even if they are, you're just going to end up, you're just going to click Facebook. Okay, and then it's going to go right along with the path you were going. So
true.
Just
build
learn to deal with it or go off the grid.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's get into entrepreneurship. That's why we're here. That's why I had you on the podcast. You're the epitome of the young entrepreneur, starting your business only a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And so I wanted to talk about your journey. I wanted to talk about what got you started. I feel like that's a big, very monumental point for a lot of people. Just realizing it. Not that moment, but just the realization you came like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've always hated working for other people. Everybody does.
Yeah.
But honestly, I knew at a young age. I shouldn't say I knew at a young age. I was told at a young age that was my ability.
Oh,
My mom told me when I was very young, I was not lazy, but I wanted to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And if I wanted something, my mom wouldn't get it for me. I'd have to go get it. And so I'd go mow lawns, or I'd walk a dog, or pick up dog shit, whatever I had to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I guess that it's always kind of been ingrained in my mind that I've had the ability to go get money when I need it.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as working for myself, I think that just came from working in different businesses where I had the potential to make a fuck ton of money, and I saw people around me doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized the sacrifices that they were making to do so, and I wasn't willing to do that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's when I realized the amount of money that I made wasn't worth the happiness that I was sacrificing, and I'd rather work for myself and make less money and be happier.
Absolutely. Where do you think that came from, though? Like you said, your mom was telling you when you were really young.
Yeah, so actually it's pretty funny that we talk about this, because just the other day I went to a golf tournament with my uncle,
mm-hmm.
who I really don't hang out with that often, to be honest.
Okay.
And he randomly invited me to this golf tournament, and I said, what the heck, I'll go. So we get torrential downpours in the middle. We have to run off the course. Everybody's soaking wet. We're sitting on the patio underneath cover, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're smoking a cigar, and he just starts telling me the story about how back in summer or winter of 78, 79, or 77, 78, right around there, he had come back from college, and my dad's 6 years younger than him,
mm-hmm.
Started a business where he was shoveling people's roofs, because they had so much snow that they were shoveling roofs in Western Springs.
Oh wow, that's nuts.
He looked at me and he's like, well, he was making like $600 to $800 a roof, and he couldn't find enough friends that were willing to do this, especially in 78, right? So he's like, I couldn't find people to do it. He goes, so your dad was making money even back then, and I had no idea. And then when I was a senior in high school, my dad bought a 9-hole golf course up in Michigan, then sold that a couple years ago, and he's always been an accountant. So even when we had the golf course, he had several jobs. I mean, he started a company where we were building houses for a couple years.
Wow. Oh, wow. So he's always had that spirit too,
Yeah.
the entrepreneurial spirit. Wow.
Yeah, I never really incorporated that with the entrepreneurial spirit. I always incorporated with him just trying to do the best that he could with what he was given.
Yeah, provide for his family, essentially.
And then when I knew he sold the golf course, I was like, okay, he's 55, somewhere around there. He's ready to settle down. And then last year he bought a tax office.
Wow.
2 of them, actually.
He's not done.
He's starting over.
Yeah.
So I
That's
was
good,
like,
though.
that must be where I got it.
He's kind of a young entrepreneur in that sense too, then. I mean, just starting over, starting a new venture, essentially.
Absolutely.
That's fun, man. That's cool. So that's really where it comes from, then. It comes from your dad.
Yeah, little did I know.
Yeah.
35 years of hanging out with my uncles and drinking and family reunions. I've heard every story in the book. Somehow I've never heard that.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
It's things like that, though, that happen every day in this world. I mean, as far as entrepreneurship goes, business, running a business, you come to these realizations because we are put in predicaments every day that make us reflect and think about, like, how would he have done it? Or, you look for your mentors for guidance. So it's cool coming to those realizations. And you can kind of reflect on everything you're doing, reflect on all the progress you've made, or some of the failures too, and just kind of use that as a reference.
The failures build us, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so I wanted to go into your concept, like your business concept in itself, how you help clients build their social media presence, get out there, get clients from social media, all that good stuff. I want to start by asking you how you came up with the concept. I mean, you have a strict system. A lot of people can go to your website. I mean, they'll see it. It's very straightforward. You go in there, you can see exactly what you're going to offer them, what you're going to do for them. It's kind of like what you did with that, quick sales pitch or 30-second elevator pitch, if you will. But how did you come up with that? Like, what caused the creation of what is now that platform and that structure?
Well, I'm glad you think it looks so straightforward.
Yeah, I mean,
it took us a while to come up with. Honestly, falling on our face, failing, learning and growing and adapting. So it was a process that we started off, and we were a lead generation company. We wanted to bring in leads for businesses because that's what everybody says. They need more business. Okay, well, we'll provide you with more business. Mm-hmm. So we do that. Then we realize... I mean, do you want me to get into specifics or? Well,
I know there's a specific example of that.
We'll get into that later.
No, let's talk about it right now, man.
Okay, so
that's what I was trying to get out of you, basically.
All right, perfect example. First client is a good client of ours. We had her for several months, and we're bringing in a good amount of leads, but she's kind of standoffish, which is the client that you want, honestly. Yeah. And all of a sudden, we have a conversation with her, our 2-week meetup, and she's like, hey, it's not working. Your leads suck.
Wow.
Hang on.
That's harsh.
Like, okay, I mean, I get it. You're paying us a fair amount of money to do what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So what about these 144 leads that we brought in the last 17 days are not good, right? Even if 10% of them are good, at what a lifetime value of your customer is, you're quadrupling your money. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have any system in place to manage these leads, to follow these leads, to learn where the situation's going wrong. It's just, that's it.
Here's the lead.
Sucks.
Yeah.
So we learn about it for a little while, grow. Now all of a sudden what we were doing to bring in leads is failing. Now it's not working. Now we're like having that moment, shit, is this what we're supposed to be doing, or did we just get lucky?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Lost the client. We're still good friends with her. She's fantastic. No,
awesome.
no love lost.
Of course,
but
that's usually how it works.
Lost the client.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we're like, well, okay, where did we go wrong? What happened? Well, we went wrong several places. We followed a fad, a trend, a Groupon deal, if you will, of what was working and bringing people in, copying other people's work that we saw work.
Yeah, of course.
And
Well, why reinvent the wheel? That's how I look at it
exactly,
sometimes.
exactly.
But with Facebook and social media...
It's always changing.
Yeah.
And so it changed. And so we failed. And we didn't know how to come back from that because we didn't do it, right?
Yes.
So now we failed on the one end and we failed on the back end because we weren't converting. So we had to build this whole process out where who's going to be the best person to tell you what they want? The customer, right?
Absolutely.
My 4-year-old tells me what she wants, and I give it to her, and she shuts up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the customer is going to tell us what we want. So let's start with position A. We'll do a little customer research. Do our customer research. We learn exactly what our clients are going to want.
Okay.
Then from there, that helps us build our ads. We talk to the clients about what those ads should look like You're going to have some kind of habit changing offer. Usually it's going to get somebody to stop and look.
Yeah.
And then from there, we need to cover our own butts and keep each other accountable, us and the client. So they are counting on us to bring in X amount of leads, whatever we decide is a successful campaign every month. And we are relying on them to follow up with these leads and convert them into sales. After all, that's how they make their money, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So we developed a management process that now we can follow exactly what happens with these leads and hold each other accountable. And at the end point, it makes the conversion rate jump from anywhere from a good closer is usually 30 to 40%. And so it'll be more like 80 to 90% by the time it's done.
Wow. Okay. That's
depending on what you're doing.
Yeah,
You know, if it's a
course.
chiropractor and a dentist, your conversion rates are going to be pretty high because that's
So
just how it works.
commodity. Yeah.
E-com might be a one-time buy and stop. You know what I mean? But then you get a whole email process and all that goes into retargeting, and
Absolutely.
there's so much into it, honestly. But the basics is we bring them in, we have a process, we learn what they want, we bring them in, we have a process to manage them, and then we convert them into sales.
Awesome. I love that. I mean, I feel like that's what is needed, and that's kind of where you went wrong in the beginning with that first client, was you didn't have that like strict procedure, that set of events that takes place, that every client, you know, no matter what they do, what they sell, who they are, this is what's going to bring you success.
Exactly.
And it's still cool though. I love it because it's still like you're still going to get a different plan, a different strategy, because every single customer is going to want different things.
Right.
You know, a customer who is big into farming goods is going to be completely opposite of somebody who wants promotional products, just to throw an example out there.
Well, and they talk different and they react different. So you have to learn exactly what their language is, right?
Absolutely.
So what I might say to somebody about, I don't know, let's say car washes. I mean, say, what do you hate about car washes? Mm-hmm. Maybe you won't respond at all, but if I say, what do you hate about trying to keep your car clean? All of a sudden I get 100 responses. Oh, well, that's the verbiage I need to be using.
Absolutely.
Right?
I love that. So would you say that's a good example of that customer research part of your business?
It's a good start. It's a very good start.
So can you give me an example of some customer research you've done recently and like what that looks like? Because I think that's the most valuable piece, honestly. We can, all the other stuff I feel like is, part of your system, it's value, but I feel like the biggest part of what you're doing for customers and for your clients is actually asking those questions and getting out there, surveying, researching.
Well, and how simple is it? I mean, you see it on the back of every receipt, hey, call this number and win $25.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to do it.
Yeah.
We're just, once again, the same deal. We're using social media as the platform to utilize, to do so. So why not? It's available. It's where everybody's already at.
So I'm gonna jump the gun here and just say that do you use messenger bots then in order to
100%.
Yeah, for that in particular action though.
That one we do and we don't.
Okay.
It depends. So Messenger Bots is a separate service that we offer. It's outside of our lead generation capabilities that we do. It helps.
Do you use the Messenger Bots at all to survey? So for that customer research aspect of, gaining information about the clients, the customers, what they want.
I'll tell you right now. Customer A says, I want you to build me a Messenger bot and I need to bring in clients.
Okay.
We say, okay. I'm bringing them directly to that messenger bot and asking the survey questions there. Customer B comes back and is like, this sounds like an amazing platform. I want the customer survey and the customer research to start this out, but I don't need a messenger bot. Okay. Well, we have a separate way of doing so, and we'll use that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Messenger bots are so powerful, especially right now.
It's a service on its own.
It's a service on its own. It's a virtual assistant. But the number one thing that it does, especially with ads, is it doesn't take you off of Facebook. So it does two things.
Okay.
Facebook promotes it more because you're not going off of their site.
Which they love that.
And Facebook charges you less.
Oh, wow.
So
interesting.
Why would we not utilize this thing?
Absolutely.
So I get asked a lot of times, what is a messenger bot? We call them chat bots, messenger bots.
Yeah.
A lot of people confuse it with a virtual assistant. I run into this problem all the time, and it's super detailed. I'm working on my elevator pitch, if you will, of how to describe this very easily. And so far, what we've come up with is, imagine having an employee that was available 24 hours a day, that didn't ask about his sick days, there's a vacation time, or his wife was menopause and had to stay home, right?
Yeah.
It's available. He's able to answer any question, and I can manipulate it exactly the way that you want. We can predict the questions that are going to happen based off of your past, right, and your customer research.
Interesting.
And we know how to utilize that to get them down an entire sales funnel if we so choose.
Absolutely.
Or we can just make it basic. Here's our business. This is what we do. Thank you for opting in. Here's our location. Here's our business hours. Here's our gym. You can meet virtually. Here's our, our, what are they called? Personal trainers if you want to meet our person, right? So there's so many levels to what you can do on it. I mean, they've even adapted it now where you can literally go to a bar and get on their messenger bot and order a drink, and it'll be at the bar when you get there.
Wow, that's
and you can pay.
Awesome. So that's the future right there. That's happening. It's happening.
I like the interaction being the bartender.
Yeah, of course.
I could see you're at a busy club in the city.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome talk so far. I'm loving this conversation. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering what the hell a messenger bot is, and now they know. They have a little bit of a better understanding. I didn't even really understand it, but now, it sounds exactly what it is. It's a robot. Essentially, you're programming a robot to talk for you, engage with your customers and clients, to sell products potentially, and basically, like you said, an employee that's working all the time, around the clock, and you don't have to worry about them complaining about sick days or break time or lunch.
Yeah, the best part about it is it's automatic, right? So, and you can make it look like it's not just a computer responding. You can put in time code so it looks like somebody's typing.
Oh, wow.
Right? So
you can really get intricate.
No, you can get intricate to it to where it feels like you're talking to a person. I've had this argument before where like, oh, you're just talking to a robot. Like, essentially, yes, you are.
But really, you're not, because a human had to program it.
Humans programming it, humans anticipating your thoughts, your needs, your wants, right? And so then you can continue a conversation with nothing's worse than reaching out to a business. And I do it all the time. I ask, hey, when can I come in for this? You
don't hear from them.
Typical, you'll see up in the top corner if you ever want. Typical response time is 2 days.
Yeah.
2 days.
That's way too long.
Okay.
I already found another vendor.
Their typical business life is 2 years.
Yeah.
They're going to fucking lose.
Yeah,
They're going to lose.
Seriously. Absolutely.
So
that's a statistic right there. You get down to the nitty gritty. It's proven. If you're not active, you're not answering your customers' questions in a timely fashion, it's going to fall through.
Hell yeah.
People are going to get upset.
Everybody wants everything faster, quicker, and better.
Especially if you're brand new and you're a new business, new entrepreneur. That's the number one thing I think that should be main focus is customer relationships, customer service, being there. Just being there. Just being behind the phone, ready to answer when they call. All right, so I want to go into some different, more nitty-gritty topics as far as your journey, your business. I want to talk about some of the things that you've had to go through and you've had to overcome in your journey. I want to start with adversity. Adversity comes in many different forms, but what type of adversity did you have to overcome when you first started your business?
Not knowing what the fuck I was doing.
Okay, that's a big one.
My business partner had been doing this for a little while.
Okay.
With somebody else, and they got sick and had to leave, and I had just moved back to Illinois. And he knew I was good with people and I was in sales and was like, hey, I need somebody to help me out.
Absolutely.
3 months into it, I'm learning not only do I need to help him sell it, I need to learn how to do everything.
Absolutely.
I got to build it. I got to know all the ins and outs. And so that's when I was like, okay, now I'm starting to learn about it. I'm getting inundated. It's getting the learning juices flowing.
Yeah. No,
I'm
good.
Figuring it all out.
Excited sometimes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it was like edit something as simple as editing a video. I never thought that I would enjoy that. It's time consuming, but I like it.
That's really cool though when you find that.
And you see the finished product, you're like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. But so that was one of the main adversity things that I had to overcome personally. Now in business, one of the main things I had to overcome and continue to all the time is originally coming up with what do I do? How do I cut that down to an elevator pitch?
Yeah.
And then B, how do I overcome the rejections or the objections, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what do I hear all the time is, oh, I've used Facebook. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, I've used Facebook ads. It doesn't work. Okay.
That's like probably the most common thing you hear every day.
Okay. How have you used it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. What have you done?
Yes.
Have you boosted a post? That's not a Facebook ad.
Absolutely. A lot of people think that too.
Yeah, because and Facebook gives you a very false sense of hope on that because it pulls this crazy screen up where it has the targeting and you can reach out to certain age groups and shit, but
the interests, even down to the interests.
Right. Yeah. And if you let's be real, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, it's
so
very
you're gonna Facebook's gonna take your $5.
Yep.
And they're gonna say, hey, I showed 2,000 people, and 1,800 of them live in that fucking retirement community. And can't use your Uber service because they're on lockdown.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
That's
you have
crazy.
no idea where it's going.
That makes sense.
So it's a complete different monster that people are afraid of because it's new and it's different and it's changed, especially for business, right? Yeah. Everybody likes the old antiquated ways of flyers and people that put their stuff on the back of your receipt at the Jewel. Like, if it's not Sport Clips, I don't know who the fuck it is. They're the only people I see on that thing.
Yeah, seriously.
And then
$5 off.
Right.
$3 off.
Think about it. TV. I mean, we all knew that TV ads were going to go down the drain as soon as DVR became available.
Oh yeah.
As
Netflix
soon as
is taking over YouTube. I mean, nobody watches.
I don't watch
TV.
anything live anymore.
Nope.
It can't.
And even the stuff that you can watch live, it's on YouTube streaming live.
And they skip all the fucking commercials.
Yep, absolutely.
So I mean, it's just about being present and being where people are at. So that's why I think it was hard to overcome. Yeah. But once people see the power in it, they're like, oh my God.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do it.
Well, you would say I would just put that in the same category as just barriers. Not having that knowledge or not knowing, it's like that's a big wall. But I feel like the best way to overcome it is exactly what you did, was get out there and freaking learn it. Get out there, open a book, get on YouTube, learn some shit, and get to it. Do it. Like I feel like you did.
Somebody told me a long time ago. They said, go out there and fail today. Fail and fail hard, but learn from it and grow from it.
Awesome. I love that, man. All right, I want to wrap it up with that. That was a really good ending point, but you did tell me something the other day, and I do want you to bring this up because it resonated with me a lot, and that was the whole opportunity statement. So I want people to leave off this podcast with that statement in mind.
All right.
Because like I said, it resonated with me. I'm an entrepreneur. I get it. I think it's going to resonate with a lot of other people too. So why don't you let people know what your final thoughts on the Young Entrepreneur podcast is?
Dr. Phil's final thoughts.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
No, I saw this the other day and it really resonated with me as well. And it said, excuse me, I'm stepping all over my stuff here. It said, O stands for opportunity. Yesterday has 0. Today has 1, and tomorrow has many. Now you can take that for whatever you want. To me, that means if you keep thinking about what happened yesterday, you're never going to be able to see today's opportunity, and you're sure as hell not going to be able to tackle all of tomorrow's.
I love that, man. I love that. I think a lot of people are going to be able to resonate with that, and it could propel someone in the right direction, man. So thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for coming out and talking to me about social media. Again, a big mystery a lot of people are wondering about. And,
it was fun. It was fun. I feel like we got so off topic. We need to have another show.
We should. Definitely in the near future. We're going to hopefully be doing some workshops with you together soon, with Entrepreneurs Connect. I'd love to get your message out there. I love it. Well, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you? I know you have a new course out there too. I'm not sure if that's out officially yet or if they can just get it at their website. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you online?
Yeah, for sure. So we're at resultkingsdigital.com. resultkingsdigital.com. I talk fast. I apologize. New course is in the beta version right now. So probably in about 2 weeks, we're going to be looking to get some new people in there. And it's really just doing that. It's another platform for people that can't afford a professional service to do it time in and time out. If they want to take the time out and learn and try and do it themselves, it's a lot. But if you can do it, more power to you, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. So
beautiful. Well, check out his course. I'm excited to check it out myself. I'm going to be utilizing it. Check out Jason Baltimore on Facebook, Instagram. Check out his page, resultkingsdigital.com.
Nailed it.
Go check that out. He's an amazing guy, an amazing entrepreneur in our community. We're really thrilled to have him as a group member of the Entrepreneurs Connect. And just keep doing what you're doing, man. Thanks again for coming out.
Absolutely,
Jason
man.
Baltimore, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for having me.
This is another episode of Young Entrepreneurs Podcast, episode 5. I hope you liked the conversation. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you so much again for coming out, Jason. Until next time, take it easy.
Peace.